introduce ourselves. I'm Bill Donlin, and Terry Kelly is on piano. We call ourselves Singular, which you may wonder, why are we calling ourselves Singular if there's two of us? Well, Singular also means exceptional or unusually good, and we hope that you'll agree that we merit the name. We've chosen around a dozen songs, a little bit more than a dozen songs, to sing and play for you today, and they represent ancient airs to music that was written in the 1940s. So we're covering a fairly wide time span in our concert today. And this concert is dedicated to a wonderful lady. Her picture is here, Nancy Varnum, and I'm going to let Terry tell you more about Nancy.
Many years ago, George, my husband, and I gave a concert of Irish music, and Nancy Varnum was in the audience. She asked us if she could talk to us about doing a performance at her church in Lowell. And so she came over, and we sat and had tea and scones together, and formed a wonderful friendship with Nancy and her husband, Tom. And we have loved Irish music all this time and performed it. And when my husband passed away 3 years ago, Bill stepped into the picture, and we're continuing the Irish music. I want to tell you about a card I got. It's a St. Patrick's Day card. And the person said, I'm not accustomed to sending these cards. I don't usually do it. But due to your traitorous love of all things Irish, I thought you should be the recipient. Well, I'm not Irish, so it was nice to get that card. But we're happy to be here today. It's kind of a bittersweet event. Nancy passed away just a few weeks ago. And so I am just imagining Nancy and my husband George as angels listening to this music today. The first piece of music that I'm going to play is called An Irish Hymn for Nancy. It was composed by a very dear friend of mine, Jim Santorino. I like to call him Giacomo Centorino. He lives in California, but he has local roots. So Jim composed a beautiful piece of music called An Irish Hymn, and I received it in the mail about a year ago, and I never really did much with it because it's written for soprano, alto, tenor, and bass, and all I have is a piano. So I asked him if I could transcribe it for piano, and he said, sure. Well, I didn't think of doing it until I thought of Nancy, and I thought this would be beautiful as a hymn for Nancy, and that's what it is. So it's composed by Jim Santorino, and it's called A Hymn for Nancy, an Irish hymn for Nancy.
Our next song is a song that was written in 1846 by an Irishman named Samuel Lover. What a wonderful name. He was a poet, a songwriter, a composer, a novelist, a painter, and an attorney, as well as being a member of the Irish government. So he's a pretty busy guy. He is the grandfather of the American composer who was born in Ireland, Victor Herbert. So obviously some talent ran in the family. The song is called The Low-Back Car. A low-back car is a two-wheeled cart driven by a single horse or a donkey. It was usually used in the country to bring produce to market or to transport small items back and forth between farms or things like that. And this song is actually called, it's also called Peggy O'Neill, because the woman in it is named Peggy. So here's our version of The Low-Back Car. First I saw sweet Peggy, 'twas on the market day. A low-back car she drove and sat upon a truss of hay. But when that hay was blooming green and decked with flowers of spring, no flower was there that could compare to the blooming girl I sing. As she sat in her low-back car, the man at the turnpike bar never asked for his toll, but just rubbed his old pole and looked after the low-back car. I'd rather own that car, sir, with Peggy by my side, than a coach and four and gold galore and a lady for my bride. For the lady would forninst me on a cushion made of taste, while Peggy would sit beside me with my arm around her waist. As we drove in the low-back car. Let's do that verse again, would you? Do that verse again. Terry, let's do that verse again. I'd rather own that car. I also have a cold, so excuse me while I get a drink of water.
Allergies and cold.
Okay, second verse.
Second verse.
I'd rather own that car, sir, with Peggy by my side, with a coach and four and gold galore and a lady for a bride. For the lady would forninst me on a cushion made of taste, and sat beside me with my arm around her waist. As we drove in the low-back car to be married by Padre Omar, oh, my heart would beat high at her glance and her sigh, though it beat in the low-back car. Thank you. This is always a difficult time of year for me because of the change of the seasons and molds and things like that, so never can tell what'll happen on a given day. But our next song is a Scottish song. We're going to be singing mostly Scottish and Irish songs here today. We did have a couple Welsh songs, but they didn't make the cut. We had to, we prepared like 25 songs, and that would be a very long concert. So we cut about 10 of them. So unfortunately no Welsh songs this year, but maybe next year. The next song was written by a woman named Dora Jordan, Scottish woman. It was written in 1801 and is called The Blue Bells of Scotland. Oh, where, tell me, where has your Highland laddie gone? Oh, where, tell me, where has your Highland laddie gone? He's gone with streaming banners where noble deeds are done, and it's oh in my heart I wish him safe at home. He's gone with streaming banners where noble deeds are done, and it's oh in my heart I wish him safe at home. the sweet bluebell, and it's oh in my heart, I loved my laddie well. He dwelt in bonny Scotland, where blooms the sweet bluebell, and it's oh in my heart, I loved my laddie well. The next song is the most modern song in the set we're going to sing today. It was written in 1946. It's called Raglan Road, which is an actual road in Belfast. And it was written by a poet and musician named Patrick Kavanagh. He wrote this about his breakup with his girlfriend, whose name was Hilda. And she was 22 and he was 44. And she used to tease him about always writing about peat bogs and gray things and all kinds of grim things. So he responded to her and said, I will write a poem that will immortalize you, Hilda. And this is the poem that he wrote. It's set to a music, a traditional Irish song. Many times these new poems are set to old music, and this is one of those cases. It was recorded by Billy Joel, among other people, so it's kind of an all-purpose song that Irish people and folk rockers enjoy. So again, it's called Raglan Road. I saw the danger and I passed along the enchanted way, and I said, let grief be a fallen leaf at the dawning of the day. On the quiet street where old ghosts meet, I see her walking now, away from me so hurriedly. My reason must allow that I had loved not as I should, a creature made of clay. When the angel woos the clay, he lose his wings at the dawn of day. You may hear bits of that song a little bit later. One of the songs we're singing is actually set to a very similar tune, and it gave Terry and I quite a bit of trouble because we kept, she would start the other tune, or I would start the other tune, and it was very confusing, but we've worked it out now. So,
I hope.
Yeah, we hope. Before we go on, I just want to ask a question. Is anybody here born in Ireland or Scotland or Wales? Terry? We're in trouble.
We're in big trouble.
We'll do our best. The next song is it's called The Lark in the Clear Air. It was written in 1850 in Belfast, written by a gentleman named Sir Samuel Ferguson. He was another one of those guys who was a poet and an artist. He was famous for his miniature paintings, and he was also a public servant. And this is a very well-known tune that's still very popular in Ireland today. enchanted as I hear the sweet lark sing in the clear air of the day. For a tender beaming smile to my hope has been granted, and tomorrow she shall hear all my fond heart would say. I shall tell her all my love, all my soul's adoration, and I think she will hear me and will not say me nay. It is this that gives my soul all its joyous elation as I hear the sweet lark sing in the clear air of the day. Thank you very much. I guess Ireland is a pretty dangerous place. There's a number of cautionary songs that are written for both men and women about the dangers of the big city and the dangers of the other sex. And this is a song called A Bunch of Time, a traditional song that dates to the late 17th century. It's a cautionary tale and a coded warning for women. See if you can figure it out.
Young and fair, all you that are blooming in your prime, always beware and keep your garden fair. Let no man steal away your time. Once she had a bunch of time. She thought it never would decay. Then came a lusty sailor who stole her time away. A sailor who chanced to pass her way. The sailor gave to her a rose that never would decay. He gave it to her to keep her reminded of when he stole her time away. For time, it is a precious thing, and time brings all things to my mind. Time with all its labors, and time with all its joys. Time brings all things to an end.
Thank you very much. I wish I had something stronger here. Okay, we're going to go back to Scotland now. This is a very famous song called the Skye Boat Song. It was written in 1884. The words are by Sir Harold Bolton, and the music's by a woman named Miss Annie MacLeod. And it's about Bonnie Prince Charlie, who isn't as well known here as he is in the United Kingdom. He was known to the British as the Young Pretender. He claimed to be the rightful heir of the British throne in the mid-16th century. He was defeated in battle by a representative of the king called the Duke of Cumberland on a moor in Scotland called Culloden Moor. Aided by a woman who was named Flora MacDonald, she's mentioned in the song, young Prince Charlie disguised himself as a serving maid and escaped the British to the Isle of Skye. He later settled in exile on the French coast in Brittany. And just a couple of word things here. A claymore that's mentioned in the text is a very large and heavy sword that requires 2 hands to swing. So, the Skye Boat Song.
Speed bonny boat like a bird on the wing, onward the sailors cry. Carry the lad that's born to be king over the sea to Skye. Loud the winds howl, loud the waves roll, thunderclaps rend the air. Baffled our foes stand by the shore, follow they will not dare. Many's the lad fought on that day, where the claymore did wield. When the night came, silently lay dead on Culloden's field. Though the waves leap, soft shall we sleep, ocean's a royal bed. Locked in the deep, Flora will keep watch by your weary head. Speed bonny boat like a bird on the wing, onward the sailors cry. Carry the lad that's born to be king over the sea to Skye.
Thank you. Okay, here's a Penny song. It was first published in 1796, and it's called The Black Velvet Band. And it was originally published as a broadside poem. Maybe you've seen those. They were popular in the 18th century. They'd be a big poem, maybe 2 columns, and an illustration of the poem on the top. A famous one in America is Paul Revere's illustration of the Boston Massacre and the poem that went with it. And this is the lyrics from this song, which is called The Black Velvet Band, were taken from that broadside. And although the lyrics of the song don't make it clear, the reason the young lady is interested in getting rid of her boyfriend is she wants to marry a sailor that she's met. So more treachery in Ireland from sailors and young ladies. So it's called The Black Velvet Band.
They shone like diamonds. You'd think she was queen of the land. And her hair hung over her shoulder, tied up with a black velvet band. 'Twas in the town of Tralee, an apprentice to trade I was bound, with plenty of bright amusement to see the days go round. Till misfortune and trouble came o'er me, which caused me to stray from my land, far away from me friends and relations, to follow the black velvet band. As I went strolling down Broadway, not intending to stay very long, I met with a frolicsome damsel as she came tripping along. Oh, what she took out of her pocket placed it right into me hand. On the very first day that I met her, bad luck to the black velvet band. Before the judge and the jury, the two of us had to appear, and a gentleman swore to the jury the case against us was quite clear. For 7 long years transportation right into Van Diemen's Land, far away from me friends and relations, betrayed by the black velvet band. Oh, all you brave young Irish laddies, a warning take by me. Beware of those pretty young damsels that are knocking around in Tralee. They'll treat you to whiskey and porter until you're unable to stand. And before you have time to leave them, you are landed in Van Diemen's Land.
Van Diemen's Land is the Isle of Tasmania, which is off the coast of Australia. I'm sure many of you know that in the mid-18th century, Britain instituted something called penal laws, and for a number of very minor infractions, you could be shipped permanently to Australia and not be welcome back in any of the British Isles. And many Irish were transported, many English were transported as well. It's not just exclusively an Irish thing. But you're going to hear more about Van Diemen's Land a little bit later in another song. So just thought I'd tell you what Van Diemen's Land was. Okay, now here's that other song that I mentioned that shares some tune elements with the song we already sang. It's called O Rowan Tree. It's an Irish song. It's from a collection published in 1822. And if you're wondering what a rowan tree is, it's a tree we have around here. It's that very nice orange mountain ash that is, I think it was imported here. It's not a Native American tree, but it's been a very popular ornamental tree. Of spring, thy flowers the summer's bride. There was nae sic a bonny tree in all the countryside. O rowan tree, how fair thou wert in the summertime, with all thy clusters white. How rich and gay thy autumn dress, with berries red and bright. On thy fair stem were mony names, which now nae mair I see, but they're engraven on my heart, forget they ne'er can be. O rowan tree, oh, there arose my father's prayer in holy evenings calm. How sweet was then me mither's voice in the martyr's psalm. Now they are gone, we meet nae mair aneath the rowan tree, but Arnold thoughts around thee twine, O him and infancy. O rowan Terry, do you want to play a piano piece now?
Sure.
Great.
Let's see, what do I play? How about a piece of music that was written in 1685, and it was entitled A Young Man's Dream, and it was composed by a Presbyterian minister, and it went through so many changes, it somehow turned into Danny Boy. So I'll play the beginning of it, and then Danny Boy as we know it on the Londonderry Air.
Our next song is a traditional song from Northern Ireland. It's written by a composer named Kenneth North, and it's called The Green Glens of Antrim.
Far across yonder blue lies a true fairyland, where the sea ripples over the shingles and sand, where the gay honeysuckle is luring the bee, and the green glens of Antrim are calling to me. And if only you knew how the light of the moon turns a blue Irish lake of Antrim are calling to me. Should I be where the people are simple and kind, and among them is one who's been here in my mind, and I pray that the world would in peace let us be, where the green glens of Antrim are calling to me. And if only you know how the light of the moon turns a blue Irish lake to a silver lagoon, you'd imagine a picture of heaven it would be, where the green glens of Antrim are calling to me.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. I'm going to do a song, I'll give Terry a break now. She's going to sit down. I'm going to sing the song a cappella, which means without accompaniment. And that term comes from the days of church singing. In the chapel, when you sang Gregorian chant, you would not be accompanied, so that was called a cappella. So when you sing without an accompaniment, it's called a cappella. This song is called The Garden Where the Praties Grow. A pratie is a potato, not surprisingly. And has a few things in it that maybe need a little bit of explanation. You're going to hear me mention something called a Grecian bend. Anyone ever heard of that term? It was during the Victorian times, somebody had the idea that with those bustles that women used to wear, they'd have this big bustle in the back and they'd kind of lean forward, and men were supposed to find it irresistible. So many women would dress with their bustle and lean forward like this. That's called the Grecian bend. And it also mentions something called the chignon, which is a very, it's a French hairstyle. Chignon means the nape of the neck. And essentially you curl your hair over, off of the nape of your neck and to the side. And both of those terms are in this song, and it's basically juxtaposing this very simple country girl with these elegant ladies of the city. So this song is called The Garden Where the Praties Grow. Have you ever been in love, me boys, or have you felt the pain? I'd sooner be in jail myself than be in love again. For the girl I loved was beautiful, I'd have you all to know. And I met her in the garden where the praties grow. She was just the sort of creature, boys, that nature did intend to walk right through the world, me boys, without a Grecian bend. Nor did she wear a chignon, I'd have you all to know. And I met her in the garden where the praties grow. Says I, my pretty Kathleen, I'm tired of single life, and if you've no objection, sure I'd make you my sweet wife. Yes, I'll ask me parents, and tomorrow I'll let you know if you'll meet me in the garden where the praties grow. Oh, the parents, they consented, and were blessed with children 3, 2 boys just like their mother, and the girl's the image of me. And now we're going to raise them up the way they ought to go, for to dig in the garden where the praties grow. Well, Terry played Danny Boy, but I think that'd be a riot probably if we didn't sing it. So we'd like to sing Danny Boy for you too. Oh, Danny Boy, the pipes are calling from glen to glen and down the mountainside. The summer's gone and all the roses fallen.
must bide. But come ye back when summer's in the meadow, or when the valley's hushed and white with snow. It's I'll be here in sunshine or in shadow. Oh, Danny boy, I love you so. And if you come and all the flowers are dying, if I am dead as dead I will may be, you'll come and find the place where I am lying, and kneel and say an Ave there for me, and I will hear your soft shoe tread above me, and on my grave will sweeter, warmer be, for you will bend and tell me that you love me, and I will sleep in peace until you come to me.
Bravo!
Terry and I prepare these programs. We usually start around 25 songs, as I said earlier, and we love them all. So it's really hard to decide which one's off to sing, but we just always have to include that song. It's a fabulous song, and people love to hear it. Okay, the last song, the second to last song I'm going to sing is one of my very favorite Irish songs. Anyone here ever heard of a singer named John McCormack? Okay, I love John McCormack. He was a tenor. Unfortunately, I'm a baritone, but he won a gold medal in the Irish National Song Festival around 1903. Interesting enough, 2 years later, James Joyce, the fabulous Irish author, he came in second place in 2 years later in the same competition. But of course, he made his name as an author. But John McCormack was a huge phenomenon. It was a time when there were millions of Irish immigrants, not only in America, but in Canada and Australia. And he had a fabulous voice. He actually outsold Caruso on RCA Victor for a couple of years, which was quite a feet because Caruso, of course, is a towering artist. Yeah. And so as a kid, my uncle gave my mother a song recording, and I wore out. I literally wore it. I just love the way he sings, and this song is one of my favorites. It's probably after religious songs and love songs. I think the third most popular genre is probably mother songs. Every genre has mother songs, all types, every language. And this song is called Mother McCree.
There's a spot in my heart which no calling may own. There's a depth in my soul never sounded or known. There's a place in my memory, my life that you fill. No other can take it, no one ever will. Sure, I love the dear silver that shines in your hair, and the brow that's all furrowed and wrinkled with care. I kiss the dear fingers so toil-worn for me. Oh, God bless you and keep sorrow or care in the dear days gone by was made bright by the light, oh, the smile in your eye. Like a candle that's set in a window at night, your fond love hath cheered me and guided me right. Sure, I love the dear silver that shines in your hair, and the brow that's all furrowed and wrinkled with care. I kiss the dear fingers so toil-worn for me. Oh, God bless you and keep you, Mother Machree.
Thank you so much. We really enjoyed singing to you today, and we hope that you'll come back next year. We have two things over on the side table. We have a list, a mailing list. If you'd like to find out more about concerts that we're doing, please give us your mailing address and we'll send you an email to let you know where we're singing next. We also have some cards over there for our duo, singular. So if you want to grab one, if you might ever want to hire a singer for any event, we're always available. And I usually sing better than this. I apologize that I have not been in great voice today. But we want to sing one more song. And this song is dedicated to Nancy. And Terry tells me it was one of her favorite songs. And we'd like to sing it to close this concert out. It's called Spancel Hill.
I just want to say, the song is written in a minor key, and a minor key makes things sound sad sometimes. Well, I mean, Beethoven could make it sound happy or sad because he could do anything. But sad, that's a minor chord. But a major chord sounds a little more cheerful. And I'm going to end this with a major chord. I'm choking.
Last night as I lay dreaming of pleasant days gone by, my mind being bent on rambling, to aliens I did fly. I stepped on board a vision and followed it with a will, till I gladly came to anchor at the cross of Spancel Hill. I went into my old home, and every stone could tell. The old Maureen was just the same as the apple tree over the well. I kissed my sister Ellen and my brothers Pat and Bill, but I met only strangers' faces at my home in Spancel Hill. I made a flying visit, my one and only love. She's as pure as any lily and as gentle as a dove. She threw her arms around me, saying, "Tommy, I love you and the pride of Spancel Hill. I thought I stooped to kiss her, as I did in days of yore. She says, Tommy, you're only joking, as you often did before. The cock crew on the roost again, he crew both loud and shrill. And I woke in California, many miles from Spancel Hill.
This song was written by Michael Considine of Spancel Hill. He was born in 1850 or 1851, after the Great Famine in Ireland. In his town, there were fewer than 20 houses, and his population was not recorded separately from the townland, but the total population of the area had fallen from 278 to 46 houses. Considine emigrated to the United States of America around 1870. He left intending to make enough money to send for his sweetheart, whose name was Mary McNamara. Considine worked in Boston for 2 years or so before emigrating to California. In failing health, he wrote the poem in memory of his hometown, which he knew he would not live to see again. And he sent the poem to his young nephew in Ireland. Michael Considine died in California in 1873 at the age of 23.